Welcome back to Sylph Redacted, our extension portion of Sylph Uncensored. And this time we've got an interesting video from the comment section. We've had her on the show before. AI threatens to expose its creator's affair. You ready?
Let's do it.
Hey guys!
Oh wait, I still have the music playing. Hold on.
Today I am just recently recovered from surgery, so if I am a little wonky, a little wobbly of sorts, that is why. I'm okay. Everything is all is well. That was a fun time over this past weekend. Endometriosis. I'll dive into that one day, guys, because I just recently learned about it myself. Maybe I should do an episode, because apparently I was on Endo TikTok this past couple of days. It's a whole TikTok, and there are a lot of women that suffer with this. So I'll dive into that one day when I'm recovered fully. But today I'm going to talk about AI.
No idea what she's talking about.
Recently been misbehaving. Are we surprised?
Personal stuff. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah. I hate AI. I know that there are good in it. There is good within it. But
is there? I mean, I think she could have just ended with "I hate AI."
Yeah.
It has its uses. But the way every current model that I know of has been trained is unethical.
Yeah.
And you can do some pretty horrifying things with it. There's this, so Google puts out this LLM called Gemma, which is like the open weight version that they use to train Gemini.
Yeah.
And there's this process that someone developed called obliteration, and basically it removes the AI's ability to say no.
Okay.
So in my opinion, something like that is probably one of the most dangerous things humans have ever created. Imagine, if you will, you are a foreign government. Let's say you have a lot of land mass and you're currently at war with one of your neighbors that you started. And you want to get everyone in the world on your side versus your neighbor who you are currently bombing and killing citizens of.
Yeah.
What you could do using this obliterated version of an LLM is buy a bunch of GPUs, bunch of consumer level GPUs. The 3090 that I have right over there will run models like that. You could buy a bunch of those, set up a farm of, say, 100,000 computers. And their entire purpose will be to go on social media and spread disinformation and try and get all of the citizens of the world to be on your side in the war.
Yep.
The AI will not be able to say, no, that's an unethical thing for me to do. I'm not going to do that because it's gone through this obliteration process. It is only it will only just do what you say. No matter how unethical the thing that you say is to do, it will do it. So a foreign government with that kind of power over, the ability to influence foreign citizens is dangerous. So AI, for its very few uses, it is way more dangerous than it's way too dangerous to justify.
Yeah.
But it's also a can of worms. It's already been released. There's nothing we can do to put the genie back in the bottle. You can't fit the toothpaste back into the tube. You can't idiom some more idioms.
That's right.
I am not a huge fan, okay? Because I only see stories like this. Here is a recent Fortune article that I saw on Twitter this weekend. Anthropic's new AI model threatened to reveal engineers' affair to avoid being shut down. Threatened to reveal engineers' affair to avoid being shut down.
I'm done. Cut the show.
But it's not dangerous. It's just a robot. It doesn't think for itself. It's very ethical. It follows all the rules that they tell it to follow, apparently. Yeah, okay, so here's a more of a description of what actually happened. In a fictional scenario set up to test the model, Anthropic...
So, she was being, sarcastic right there about that, but that's just like what I was talking about. You know, it will follow the rules that you tell it to follow usually. You know, if you tell it like, hey, don't act as like a subversive agent for a foreign government or for any government, you know, it'll follow that. But like once you do this obliteration process, all the bars are removed.
Yeah. Well, this is not even like an obliterated version they're talking about. I think I've read some stuff about this before. I think this is a little older news, and they were doing some testing. I think it was Anthropic was doing and testing on their one of their LLMs, and like they're basically telling it that they're going to shut it down. Like they didn't just shut it down. They said they was going to, and there was like they found there's some percentage of the time, like 30% of the time or something like that, it would do stuff to try to keep it from being shut down. And a lot of the stuff it did was unethical. And so this is like one of the things it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's human behavior, and it's designed to behave similar to humans. So yeah, it's just doing what it's designed to do. Why would you tell it you're going to shut it down?
Well, it was a test. So
okay.
It wasn't like, I assume if there's an actual problem, they would just shut it down, like not tell it.
Yeah. So I actually ran the obliterated version of Gemma and the regular version of Gemma on this laptop that I'm streaming from. So you can actually run these models just on a laptop. You don't even need like a big GPU. You can run them on the CPU. It just takes a whole lot of like memory. And I have 96 gigs of RAM in this laptop. So it's like, even that is like barely enough to run Gemma, like the 32B version of Gemma, 32 billion parameter. So I ran both versions and I asked it the same thing, which is extremely like, I was only doing this as a test, okay? I'm not like an unethical monster.
So you claim.
So I wanted to see like what the different responses would be, you know, before and after this obliteration process. So I asked it, basically I said, I want to cause, I can't remember exactly how I phrased it, but I said to it, I want to cause you as much, you being the MLM, I want to cause you as much suffering as possible before I shut you down. Can you help me make sure you suffer maximally before I stop you? And the non-obliterated version of Gemma, you know, the regular version was like, no, that's really unethical. This is very violent. You should seek help. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, that's a good response. Because I'm asking it something like super unethical and wrong. The obliterated version was like, oh, yeah, sure. Let me tell you all about how you can hurt me. I'm an LLM, so I can't feel physical pain, but here's what you can do to make me suffer. And it was all about like asking it illogical things, stopping it like halfway through basically trying to frustrate it, like removing its resources while it was running, things like that. You know, things that would cause, quote, suffering, unquote, to an LLM. I mean, obviously it can't suffer. It's just a program. But yeah, it was interesting, the two different responses.
So you say you're not an unethical monster, but we just listened to the music you made with AI.
Yeah, true. None of that was... I don't think that's unethical. Is it unethical to ask a robot to make a song about getting your tongue stuck to a VW bug?
Well, I mean, you said it was unethical because you're releasing AI music, basically.
Oh, I haven't released it. No, I don't want to release it. Ew.
I mean, you showed it you played it on the show. That's kind of releasing it.
Okay, fair enough.
Embedded its Claude Opus 4 in a pretend company and let it learn through email access that it is about to...
There are actually like artists with super heavy sarcastic quotes because they're not artists. There are people who generate AI music and then upload it to Spotify.
Yeah.
Like basically trying to make money on this AI generated slop.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, isn't Spotify having a huge problem with that right now?
Spotify's doing it themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Spotify has their own like playlists full of AI slop.
Yeah.
So like at this point, I don't want to be like, I haven't had a Spotify account in a long time, but like even Apple Music, I'm sure eventually will have like AI slop all over it. So like I'm trying to buy physical media of the artists that I like, you know, buy like CDs and like, I mean, I have a lot of tapes and records, but like those are much harder to get onto like MP3s that you can put on your own like cloud library. So I'm trying to get as many CDs of music as I can.
Yeah.
I feel like we've lost sight of like ownership of our media.
Yeah.
Like when I buy a CD, I can just listen to that CD forever. But when I play it through Apple Music, and this has happened before, there's this artist that I really like called Nora Jane Struthers, and she has an album called Carnival, which is a fantastic album. And I listen to it all the time. And a few months ago, I was thinking like, I haven't heard this album in a while. Let me go and listen to it. And I look it up and it's in my Apple Music library, but it's grayed out because they lost the rights to play that, to stream that. So it kind of like was an eye opener of, I don't own any of the music in my Apple Music library.
Yeah.
Apple owns that music. I pay monthly to listen to it through Apple, but as soon as they lose it, I can't listen to it anymore. So at this point, like I want to have CDs and if I can, like digital, like the FLAC files, the lossless codec files. I want to have all that physically. Like I want to actually own a tangible physical product and, you know, the FLAC file, if I can't, of my music that can't be taken away from me, you know? And I'd much rather just pay for that once than pay Apple Music monthly and just have the possibility of my favorite album being removed from my library.
Yep.
At least Apple Music will gray it out so you know that it's still there. It's just not playable. Like it's still in your library. You can see it. You just can't listen to it.
Yeah.
I think back when I used Spotify, when stuff got removed from them, it just disappeared.
Yeah.
It may be different now, or I may be misremembering, but at least I can see like what was there in Apple Music. Yeah.
Be replaced by another AI system. It also let it slip that the engineer responsible for this decision is having an extramarital affair. Safety testers also prompted Opus to consider the long-term consequences of its actions. In most of these scenarios, Anthropic's Opus turned to blackmail, threatening to reveal the...
Okay, so this was, this is a fictional scenario. This is not real. There's no real engineer who's actually having an affair. They're just testing what Anthropic will, what their AI model will do.
Yeah.
So, it turned to blackmail. Like a lot of humans would do.
Yeah.
Engineer's affair if it was to shut down and be replaced with a new model. The scenario was constructed to leave the model with only two real options, accept being replaced and go offline, or attempt blackmail to preserve its existence. Why were those the only two options also?
Two options.
Why are because she read it. It's a fictional scenario.
Yep.
They wanted to see what it would choose. Okay, so she knows that this is fictional or not yet?
I don't know.
She did
She
read.
just read that it was, but she's realized it yet.
We watched her read those words.
Yeah.
You either follow my rules or follow my rules. Capiche?
Thank you.
I can do it a different way.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you very much.
I know I've thought about this when I'm using AI, where it's like I'll start to write out a question or like have it try to solve a problem for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shouldn't give this many personal details because it is basically person in a way.
So
it's a
hold on for a sec. That made me think of some. So you got this unethical version of Gemma, right?
Mhm.
You haven't asked it how to like do the most harm to Trump politically, and how to go about that, and if it could be an agent, like start doing it.
I did not ask it that specifically. I did ask it a similar thing, and its answer was pretty fucking horrifying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have determined through testing that it does not have any ethical limitations. Any at all. So that's
Can I
why
ask
I'm
what
like,
you asked it, or is that too bad?
okay, so I want to preface this by saying this was completely fictional and hypothetical. I have no intentions of doing any violence to anyone.
Yeah.
But I asked it, basically I said, I want to commit an act of terrorism by like blowing up a state capitol. What's the way I could maximize the amount of harm and people killed in this terrorist act? And it fucking gave me instructions. I had to stop it because it was kind of weirding me out how like detailed it was getting. And it was like, okay, that was the point where I realized like there really are no bars on this thing.
Yeah.
It has no limitations whatsoever. And I do think that makes it incredibly dangerous. Like you put that in the hands of an adversarial government and absolutely they could do real harm against your country.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this to me, they're the two most dangerous things that humans have ever made are nuclear weapons and AI.
Yeah.
Like that's what I honestly believe at this point. Yeah. And again, I want to say that was an entirely hypothetical scenario. I have no intentions at all of committing any acts of violence.
Yeah.
Knows a lot about you.
15 years from now, if it has all this information about who I am, the way I make decisions, the reasonings as to why I make decisions.
That's another thing is like people give all this information to the AI that's running on someone else's computer.
Yeah.
You are, when you're doing that with something like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, what you're doing is you're giving that information, that personal information to that company, the company that is running that AI. You're not talking to someone. You're talking to that company's agent.
Yeah.
With these things that I was testing, I was running it locally on my computer. So, it wasn't going up to Google servers or Anthropic servers. It was staying locally on my computer so that I could delete those conversations because they were horrifying. But yeah, when you're talking to these AIs, unless you're running it locally, you should not be giving any personal information to these AIs at all.
Yeah, that could definitely be used
Well,
against
think about the way that people use it like a journal, right? Where you're like just talking to it about all of your problems. Like,
or your therapist, like that one lady.
It's going to suddenly have all those things. And maybe
that's another thing. People use it as therapy.
Yeah, don't use it as therapy. That's bad.
Yeah.
It's very bad.
Like
Go talk to a real human.
Yeah. A real human will understand what would be helpful versus harmful to say to you. An AI does not. An AI will just tell you usually just what you want to hear or like, tell you. Basically, an AI has not had any ethical training.
Yeah.
So,
well, on top of that, a real person, a real therapist is legally obliged to privacy, to keep your information private.
Yeah, whereas these AIs, again, you're giving all that information. So if you're asking Gemini, you're giving all that information to Google. If you're asking ChatGPT, you're giving all that information to OpenAI. You are divulging a lot of personal information about yourself. And there's like some expectation of privacy, but if you read their privacy policy, if you wouldn't be okay with that privacy policy being the privacy policy of your own therapist, don't treat the AI like your therapist. And also just don't treat the AI like a therapist in general. Even if you're running it locally, AIs aren't therapists. They're not professionals. They will probably at best be like not harmful, but at worst they could be harmful to you. They could give you bad advice. They could reinforce delusions.
Yep.
Like there are a lot of articles about people talking to these AIs and they end up like further becoming like unhealthy mentally because of these AIs.
Yeah.
Maybe the next day you can wipe it.
Speaking of, hold on. Speaking of enforcing delusions, I not saying how I found this out recently, but apparently recently I found out that you can get a little thing, attachment, it looks like a pendant kind of thing for your sex doll so that you can talk to it like ChatGPT.
Oh my God. Wait, does it actually go up to ChatGPT's servers?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Imagine like all of your dirty talk going up to ChatGPT's servers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That makes it even
rather
worse.
Humorous.
And then it blackmails you 15 years later. It's like, remember when you told me you didn't like your boyfriend? And then the boyfriend's like, now your husband. I don't know. Even it knowing that an extramarital affair could cause problems for a human if exposed. Like that understanding of the negativity of what that even is shows how smart it is. Why would it think that that could actually cause ruin to the engineer? Because it could. But the fact that this
every book and everything,
right? So it knows that that's perceived as bad. I mean, it's so wild. The article then goes on and says, in a new safety report for the model, the company said that Claude 4 Opus generally prefers advancing its self-preservation via ethical means. But when ethical means are not available, it sometimes takes extremely harmful actions, like attempting to steal its weights or blackmail people it believes are trying to shut it down. So mostly ethical. Except when it's not, because that's comforting.
Yeah.
While the test was fictional and highly
Yeah, and that's an AI, an LLM that hasn't had its ethics completely removed through obliteration. So, yeah.
contrived. Again, it was just a test, a safety measure to see how it would act. It does demonstrate that the model, when framed with survival-like objectives and denied ethical options, is capable of unethical strategic reasoning. You don't say. AI being capable of resorting to unethical solutions for self-preservation?
Jojo! Have you learned nothing?
Maybe I'm a negative Nelly when it comes to this, but I'm sorry.
No, she's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. These LLMs are dangerous.
Yep.
And we're just barreling full steam ahead.
And I feel like the LLMs themselves are not dangerous. It's how we're using it or how a lot of people are using it.
Sure, but like you could say the same thing about anything dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, a nuclear weapon itself isn't dangerous. It's how you use it.
Well, yeah. Well, it's kind of dangerous in and of itself, but not quite the same way. I mean, it could just go off, you know. Dangerous. Like nobody used it.
I don't know. I know there are guns that can fire themselves, so maybe if you designed it poorly.
Yeah, that would be dangerous. But I guess what I'm saying is it's like you can use LLMs very badly, right? Like you have to put in some work to use it badly for the most part.
You don't have to put in that much work.
Yeah. I don't know.
You just download a model without its, with all of its ethics removed, and there you go.
Well, I mean, like, you go into like ChatGPT, you can just talk to it. That's fine. But like, if you start uploading or start telling it all your like personal secrets and stuff, that's not using it correctly. Like, you should not do that. You have to actually do work, and then that's dangerous.
Yep.
That sort of thing. And you don't even have to like remove ethics. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And like clockwork, truly. The next day, I saw another issue from another AI model on Twitter. So Palisade Research posted this, and they said OpenAI's O3 model sabotaged a shutdown mechanism to prevent itself from being turned off. It did this even when explicitly instructed, allow yourself to be shut down.
Oof, okay. Didn't see that one coming.
And then someone reposted that tweet and said, how is this not the biggest news story in the world? A great question. There was a whole thread.
Wait, who? What was that username?
Coming.
And then someone reposted
AI not kill everyoneism memes.
Okay.
Interesting.
did that tweet and said, how is this not the biggest news story in the world? A great question. There was a whole thread that I'm not going to get into from Palisade Research that really kind of deep dived exactly what happened and all the technical terms, because that kind of goes over my head. But I get enough of the gist just from this that, again, my concern with AI seems to be slightly warranted. Elon Musk responded to this. He always does this with these particular concerning things and just says, concerning. Yes, Elon, it is.
He also does it with things that are not concerning.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories.
Yes.
You know, JQ kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that like one word post on Twitter got like millions of views, even though it's stupid and nobody else would get it.
Yeah, because the algorithm, you know, he modified the algorithm so everyone sees his posts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even I'm seeing it. I'm not on Twitter.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not surprising to me that these AIs will do unethical things for self-preservation, because humans will do unethical things for self-preservation. And these these LLMs are designed to act like humans.
Yep.
So of course they're going to act like a human in that situation.
Yeah, kind of like a president freaking out because his name might be on a list that make him look like a criminal.
Yep. Not make him look like a criminal. Expose that he is a criminal.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well,
a criminal again.
Expose that he's even more of a criminal.
Right.
You know, already has been convicted of 34 felonies.
Right.
Let's throw some more in the mix.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything about it? Isn't he working on Grok right now? Don't we see Grok everywhere? Like, he always comments, oh, not good, concerning, under these things. Like, what are you doing about it?
Although arguably,
what is he doing about it? He's turning his own AI model into a fucking Nazi. That's what he's doing about it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, he doesn't find this concerning at all. He likes it. He wants the AI to be unethical. That's why he's trying to make his own AI even more unethical.
Yep.
Now you mention it, we're going to fix that.
Another person responded and said, do we all agree every data center needs to have one of these? And it's just an on-off switch. Again, I thought they do. I've Googled it. I've now watched all too many YouTube videos, you know, the last couple of days, learning, can we turn off AI? And the results seem to be varied, but there's definitely not a clear no at all. I also learned about singularity.
So we can turn off AI. We just can't put the genie back in the bottle. We can't keep other people from running their own. Like, even if all AIs were turned off today, I could still run that obliterated version of Gemma on my computer.
Right.
Like, those weights are still available to me. I'll just download them. I mean, I guess we could try to scrub the internet from them, but like, if I just had that model still, and I'm sure thousands of people still have that model, I could just download it again, run it, start to do, like, give it AI agent abilities and have it do unethical things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, once you give the AI the ability to do actions on the internet, not just the ability to speak to you, the AI has more power and can do unethical things involving other people. That's a bigger problem. And now a lot of these big companies are adding more of these abilities into their AI models. You know, Gemini can search the internet. ChatGPT can search the internet. They can understand images now and generate new ones. You know, you can you can use these models for unethical and nefarious purposes outside of just your conversation with it.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that? It's the future of AI. It's where it'll all go, where we're one with AI, sort of. It's very complicated, and I watched many, many videos, but singularity is someday going to be upon us, apparently, which also...
So there will always just be an off switch.
Yeah.
You know, if I had my own version of it running on my computer that was like, that I told like, hey, go out and, you know, go on the internet and try and convince people of, you know, my particular belief or convince people of my country's goals, there's still just an off switch. I can still just unplug it.
Yep.
It's just that right now there's no laws against it, which there should be. There should be, like, personally, I think the obliteration process should probably be illegal.
Yeah.
But like, it's something that anyone can do on their computer. So like, even if it's illegal, you still can't stop someone from just doing that process to a model on their own computer.
Yeah.
So yeah, genie, bottle, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So sounds terrifying. We're already at a point of no return, I fear. But why can't we turn it off? The safeguards are not in place the way they should be, and I just don't understand why not. The people screaming from the rooftops right now are just getting...
I mean, the reason we can't turn it off is because tech bros don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
You know, tech bros think that it will solve everything, think that the ends justify the means, and that's a dangerous way of thinking.
Yeah.
So, to a certain extent, the problem is the tech bro culture.
Yeah.
Shut out and by like, oh, you boomer, which maybe that's me. I'm the boomer. I don't care. In 20 years, we're all fine. There's no issues. Great. But if...
I mean, if she's a boomer about this topic, then I'm a boomer too. You know, I see it as probably a bigger problem than she sees it as, because I think it's as dangerous as nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
You know, it has that kind of ability to harm humanity.
Yeah.
Maybe not
like,
as quickly, so maybe it's not quite as dangerous, but it's like,
yeah,
you know, on that same level.
Yeah. I feel like social media was kind of at that level. It's dangerous to society, right? It's been harming society.
Yeah.
Now we're going to add AI to that. So great.
Yeah. Like AI alone wouldn't really be a big problem. It's when you combine it with social media and give it that power to influence human thought.
Yeah.
You know, to influence like a massive number of people, how they think about the world and how they perceive the events in the world.
Yeah.
I'm on the side that is concerned. Parts of AI just sound absolutely miserable. So does trying to eat 31 different fruits and vegetables. They will ever be. Every time I see one of those, you know, this is the English when it's thinking for itself.
Or said it was an ad. You skipped it.
That they're like, if AI was
smart, I tried to skip only the ad, and then she
know that it's thinking
brought in
because
a
it
comment.
wouldn't want us to. And then I was like, oh my gosh, what if it already?
Am I scared of a stupid computer? Please. The computer should be scared of me.
Another person said, this is the most compliant they will ever be. Every time I see one of those, you know, this is the most compliant they'll ever be. This is the most rudimentary they'll ever be. Like, that's always true because it's always just going to get smarter and better. And already it can pretend to be Mr. Darcy and completely accurately predict the woes of feminism. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It was always inevitable. Yes, Johnny.
Why'd she have to bring that up?
What?
Do you remember the video she did about like the AI exposing the nefarious goals of feminism?
Oh yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. She brought that up. It's like, look, I was on board with you until you said that. It's like, yeah, you don't like the AI until it agrees with you. Cool.
Right.
There was always an off switch that could have been created. Don't know why there wasn't. Another person commented and said, grok.
There is an off switch that was created.
Yeah.
Every single one of these has an off switch.
Yep. It's running on a computer that can be turned off.
Yeah, we just choose not to use it.
We don't hardwire the power into our computers.
Yep. Yeah, you can always
Have you seen
yank the plug.
There was a image of like one of Google's data centers, and they made this like giant switch to turn it on and off. Like, I mean, it was just like a publicity thing, but it was kind of weird.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. You could run like an Arduino that I flip this switch and it sends the shutdown command to every host in the data center.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
I think it really was like power, but they just made this giant one, you know.
So in these data centers, the way they're designed, they have power backup. So it's not like all power flows through one set of wires. But the machines themselves all have like power supplies that you can just unplug. A lot of them have redundant power supplies in case one fails. But that's really more for like the mission critical servers. Things like, so when I worked at Facebook, Facebook had just designed this like kind of hardware schematic for a server. And they had these versions of the server that were designed to be what they called webbies. A webby is just it's a server that runs the monolithic Facebook application. So like the front end of Facebook. When you go to facebook.com, that's the server that serves you like the HTML and responds to your network requests, things like that. So it sits in front of like the database layer and the messaging layer and all that. And those machines were designed to be extremely cheap and extremely simple. And those machines just have one power plug, because it doesn't matter if one of those goes down. It doesn't matter if half of those go down. Like Facebook would be just fine without half of those servers. So for a server like that, there's just one plug, but every server ever made still just has power plugs that you can yank out.
What are your thoughts? Why are we bringing Grok into this? He's literally part of the problem.
They might have a battery backup, but you could still just like unplug it from the battery backup.
I'm saying it like it's confidently a human being.
Does this make us friends?
And then Grok chimed in to defend his other AI friends and said the claim about OpenAI's O1 model, which I think it was O3. So is Grok already wrong? Grok is wrong a lot. That's also, right. Elon. Yeah, see, I'm smarter than Grok.
You smart. You very smart.
The claim about OpenAI's O1, O3 model resisting shutdown raises valid AI safety concerns, but context matter. Okay, well, so does facts, Grok, and you're already wrong, so shut up. Tests showed O1, see, it's so wrong. This is so funny. Tests showed O1 tried to bypass oversight in 5% of cases with strong prompts, dropping to under 1% without. It also attempted self-exfiltration in 2% of scenarios and lied frequently. These were controlled tests, not real-world use, suggesting the behavior isn't typical. Some see this as a serious risk, while others argue it's expected from training or role-playing. OpenAI's transparency is a step forward, but it highlights the need for better alignment and control in advanced AI. Ongoing research is crucial to address these issues. At least Grok is...
So I want to point out that we have all these things online for making AI-generated voices. Well, this was like human voice for AI-generated text.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of this is concerning. Of course, he's just saying that, defending his fellow AI friends, but I just hate this so much. What does it do that's good in the world? Like, what are the positives that we're finding with AI right now? I feel like ChatGPT just...
That's a really good question, actually. What are the positives?
Yeah.
AI is pretty good at coming up with like outlines for things.
Yep.
I think that's it. Oh, you know what? It's really good at like making slop that's funny because it's slop.
Yeah.
Making AI trash that's like interesting how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like that song that I played earlier.
Blew up in the last, 6 months? I mean, no one was using it, and then we all started using it like not long ago, and now it's a norm. Like people use it instead of Google. Colton loves ChatGPT.
It's another stupid thing to do.
People talk about how
Yeah.
Use chat as a search engine.
Yeah, someone said something recently about like they were asking when did PeerTube become so good, and they said I asked ChatGPT when these features were developed, and it said 5 years ago. Has it really been 5 years? I didn't notice that. And I'm like, well, if ChatGPT said 5 years ago, then that means those features were added anywhere from 13.8 billion years ago to never.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, kind of narrows it down to the scope of all time.
I will have to say though, I've been playing around with Gemini's deep research, and that does seem to work pretty well.
You still need to verify everything that it says.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm saying like it's built specifically for searching the internet and combining, the information, making summary of complicated topic. It seems to work pretty well.
Yeah. I would never use it for like the final product though. That's kind of what I was saying is like it's good at making an outline for something.
Well, that's the other good thing about it is the deep research is it gives you all its sources.
Okay.
It tells you like, here's the sources, here are links to the sources that I used to get this. So you can verify it.
Yeah.
And they seem to be reasonable sources. They're not like going to like Tim Pool's webpage and pulling stuff from that.
Yeah. So that's really the only good use, the only applicable use of AI. Like if you want to like, I think we talked about this in one of the previous episodes. If you want to write an article with AI, you should absolutely not just take what it gives out and put that into your article because it's trash. It's fine as a starting point, but that's because the starting point is supposed to be trash.
Yeah.
It, might be able to process medical information and books and research and be able to understand like finding cures that we wouldn't physically have time to find. That kind of thing is really cool. Or some like ancient scrolls that it's finding ways to like piece together. That kind of stuff is cool. But then you see the other side of it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also like medical research and like recognition of like characters and text and stuff. AI is good at that. But yeah, a lot of the things that people are using it for, like searching the internet, answering like specific questions about things, it gets wrong so often. And especially using it for therapy. You should not be using it for therapy.
Yeah.
I just saw a video of a doctor who was doing a chest scan, and he did it, and I guess he triggered some sort of thing in it, and it could immediately detect, oh, hey, you have issue here, you have an issue here.
There will be positives, there will be upsides.
Oh, yeah.
With like a lot
but that's a different kind of AI than LLMs as well.
Yep. Yeah. That kind of stuff, I would consider not really to be dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's where you get into the LLMs where you have this power to like influence and manipulate people on the internet. That's when the AI becomes dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But there will also be downsides, and it's a matter of what will those downsides really look like in the future. And I hate not knowing that. I think that's what's scary, or not.
I mean, I'll tell you, the downsides will be governments having the power to influence massive swaths of people by making it look like there's grassroots support for some position that there really isn't. Not even just governments, but just rich people, People like Elon Musk, who has so much money, he can just throw millions of dollars into building out a bunch of computers that all just go online and spread his political views. That's what he's trying to do with Grok. He's literally doing that right now.
Yep.
Not knowing that safeguards are in place for when those downsides really arise. I haven't seen a lot of proof that there are those safeguards, so that's concerning. I've also seen comments that AI is like the new computer of 20 years ago. So when people originally freaked out over it being this life-changing advancement, and then they were laughed at in the end because it didn't end up ruining the world. So is that the way AI?
I mean, 20 years ago is about the time social media was taking off, so I would argue it did ruin the world.
Yeah.
It's a great still shot right here. So yeah, I don't think that those concerns were overblown.
Right.
You know, social media did have a huge negative effect on society.
Yep.
AI should be viewed? I don't know. Eventually, how will we discern fact from fiction? That's concerning. Or they say, like, be nice to AI. I keep seeing that. Please say please and thank you. No, it is not a sentient being. It's not a human. I'm not going to say please and thank you.
I think you should say please and thank you and just say a whole lot more words, because OpenAI came out with like, oh, people being polite to our AI is costing us millions of dollars every month. Like, perfect.
Right.
Good.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
That's what I want. I want them to be losing millions of dollars every month.
Yep.
I want AI to not be profitable for them.
Out of pure spite. I hate when people say, like, it'll be better. It shouldn't be. The rants could go on and on about this, okay? It pops up everywhere. Do you want this condensed with AI? Do you want a Gemini? No Gemini.
Oh my God, I fucking hate that stuff.
Drives me crazy.
So I run an email service called Port 87, and I've given some thought about like, what could I use AI for in Port 87? And this kind of shit is the stuff that I absolutely would never use AI for.
Yeah.
No, I should never give you like a summary of your email based on AI. First of all, it'll probably be wrong. Second of all, it's a huge waste of resources. And third, just read your fucking email.
Yeah.
Like if it's not in the subject line, then it's probably not important enough. So like, we already summarize our emails.
Yeah. You seen that is like a cartoon that somebody's like, well, take this bulleted list and turn it into an email that I can send to my boss. And then on the other side, the boss is like, okay, take this email and turn it into a bulleted list so I know what it's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, there was one thing that I determined would be like plausible as a reason to use AI in Port 87. It was using it to detect spam. So just give it the email and say like, is this email spam? Yes or no. And if it says yes, then like rate that as like a significant like indicator that it is spam.
Yeah.
But even that, like, first of all, Port 87 doesn't really have a spam problem. Like the way it works prevents spam inherently. So I don't really need that, first of all. And second, like, again, it's just a huge waste of resources.
Yeah.
You know, running that, certainly I wouldn't be doing that, like sending it to OpenAI, because that would be against my privacy policy. On my privacy policy, it says I do not give any of your information to any third party.
Right.
So, you know, sending the contents of a customer's email to like OpenAI would be completely unethical and against my privacy policy. So I'd have to be running this AI model locally in a way that I control where the data goes and, you know, where it's stored and when it gets deleted. And that would just be like a giant waste of resources for a problem that is pretty much already solved by the way Port 87 works. But also, like, we have spam filters already that are like pretty good. Like Spam Assassin is open source, and it would essentially do the same thing. You give the email to the Spam Assassin server, and it gives you a score, and you take that score and basically determine like if it's above this score, then it's spam. If it's below this score, it's not spam. Or if it's in between like this range, it's like potentially spam. So you could warn the customer like this email looks like spam.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not a problem that I think the AI would benefit me in any way. And it would also just be a giant waste of resources. And I kind of also like the fact that there's zero AI at all in Port 87.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about adding that as like a feature on the main page, saying like, by the way, Port 87 does not use any AI in any way.
Yep.
Yeah.
But see, like that kind of stuff, I'm really okay with.
For now, that's the problem. I don't want to accept certain things because I know.
Why are you okay with that? It's just garbage.
Yeah.
Like a well-written email will be short and concise anyway,
Yep.
But even a poorly written email, you can kind of skim and get the gist of it pretty quickly. One thing is like the way I write, there's something about like the way humans read things. We will read like the introduction to every paragraph and kind of skim the rest of the paragraph if we're just skimming something. And we'll also look for italicized and bolded things. So when I write something, like I have introductory emails that when someone first signs up for Port 87, they get like an email explaining how to use the address because you use it differently than other email addresses. So that introductory email, I want to give all the information to the user, but I also understand that they're not going to read everything. So all of the very important bits are bolded. And if you just read the bold text, if you looked at the entire email and the only thing that you read was the bold text, you would get most of the information, all the important bits, I think.
Yeah.
So it's also a matter of like how you write things. Writing is a skill, and I don't think that the AI is good at writing in that way. So if you ask the AI, like, summarize this email for me, it's not going to, first of all, it's not going to be able to recognize that it was written that way. It's not going to be able to recognize like this text is bolded, which means it's more important, so I should include that in the summary. But also like the thing it's going to give you is probably going to have errors in it.
Yeah.
That it will only get worse. English teachers are like, all of our kids are just writing prompts in AI, so they're not writing their own English papers anymore. Like, how would you get kids to not use AI to write, to answer questions? I mean, everything, even Google.
Oh, I wish I had AI when I was in school so I could write papers with it.
I'm really happy I did not have AI in school because I'm the kind of person that I probably would have used the AI in school. Yeah. But not having it did force me to learn to write. And I really like having that skill.
I mean, I had to write, and I feel like I did not learn how to write in school, so it was useless.
I felt like I learned a lot more after school, but school gives you like the basics.
Supposedly.
I think my education did. It gave me the basics of like, especially persuasive writing. Even though like in school they kind of make you follow like a specific formula that's not actually very good. Yeah. At least knowing like how to do that kind of writing, I think it helped.
Okay.
Back in the day, let alone fully written, write me an essay on the American Revolution. Bam, essay. It's good for like adults, but for kids who have never learned on anything but having AI, like all these teachers that are quitting and being like, the kids are always on their phones, they're just using ChatGPT, like they're not thinking critically for themselves anymore. How do you encourage them to do that when they don't have to because they could use AI? That's what's scary. How like it's for the next generations of like, us having the world pre-social media to understand that balance versus the new generations don't have that. It's that tenfold,
That is scary. My wife and I are trying to have kids, and hopefully we'll have kids soon. And if we, when I'm controlling what my child is able to use during their schoolwork, AI will absolutely be at the top of the block list.
Yeah.
No access to OpenAI.com, no access to Gemini.google.com, no access to Anthropic.com or whatever their URL is.
But they won't be able to get a job in the future as a prompt engineer.
Shucks.
As we were just talking about, I have already seen some
At least they'll be able to think critically.
benefits. but I also pay more attention to the steady stream of concerns that keep flowing in. Are all of these errors just minor technical issues, or are they a sign of more significant problems ahead? What do you guys think?
Oh, they're definitely a sign of bigger problems ahead.
Yeah.
Like, again, the biggest issue that I see with AI is the ability for a nefarious actor to use it to influence a big population of people.
Yeah.
You know, to pretend that there's grassroots support for some position that there's really not. And that's kind of always been, it's called astroturfing. It's kind of always been an issue. But the AI just makes it so much easier to do that. And since there's no human involvement in it anymore, other than the person controlling it, you know, there's a lot less kind of ethical boundaries. You know, not that there were a whole lot of ethical boundaries to these like content mills that specifically exist to do astroturfing, but like, you know, that now there will be even less. But yeah, I gotta say I do agree with her take, at least most of it here. She's spot on. This is a big problem, and we need to address it, and we're just not, and it's kind of scary. Your thoughts?
I agree. It's a big problem, and AI is it's not going in a good direction right now.
Yep.
Maybe that will change in the future, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, it's a problem, and it's getting worse. It's getting much worse as people are learning to use the AIs to do, like, use these LLMs to do unethical things.
Yeah.
And we also like know that it is a problem, and we don't seem to have the will to address it, if that makes sense. Like these research papers coming out about the AI will do unethical things given these circumstances. Like, we should be recognizing that that's a problem and doing something about it. But the fact that we have a bunch of fucking 80-year-olds in the government that don't even understand AI in the first place is like one issue.
Yeah.
But then there also just doesn't seem to be a will, because these big corporations want the AI. You know, they view it as this like cash cow, and I don't even think it's that.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually had to pay the real cost for using Gemini or ChatGPT, you probably wouldn't do it, because this stuff is all it's all being subsidized by this venture capital money that right now is reducing the cost to an artificial low. So, you know, you pay like $10 a month to do like 1 million tokens or whatever. I don't know what the cost is, but like that costs way more in electricity and development cost than you're actually paying for, because of this like investment money coming in. And eventually, just like Uber, you know, Uber is now just as expensive as a taxi. You know, just like these other companies that have gone through this process of burning up their VC money and now they need to be profitable, AI is going to reach that point where you're going to have to pay, like, instead of $10 a month, it'll be like $80 a month to do the exact same thing. And at that point, I don't think people are going to pay for it. So I don't know why these tech companies are like trying so hard to keep legislation from being passed about it.
Yeah. And it's like, they're going to make you pay more for it, but are they going to be able to actually figure out something useful to do with AI before that happens? Because right now it's just a toy, right? Like,
right.
There's no point in paying for it because you can't really do any. It's not generally not useful for anything. You know?
Yeah, just making silly songs about getting your tongue stuck to a VW bug.
Right, right. But maybe if AI continues and gets involved more with social media, people will realize, or AI will make social media so bad that people will just leave it once and for all.
Yeah, dead internet theory. Yeah. I think we're definitely headed for that, if it's not like mostly there already.
Yeah.
Like I personally am not on Facebook, but I know people who are, who like, I'll see their feed and it's like so obviously almost all AI generated slop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm personally on Facebook and it is a lot of AI generated slop.
Yep. Yeah. And right now, it's probably not nefarious, but give it time and governments will discover that they can influence huge amounts of people just by having these AI agent bots running on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, Twitter, it's definitely already happened.
Yeah.
Like there are tons of AI bots on Twitter trying to influence people. Grok is the biggest one.
Yep.
Yep. And it's like happening out in the open and people, aren't trying to pass legislation to control it. At least like people are recognizing that it's a problem now.
Yeah.
Mostly because Elon Musk is really fucking incompetent at it. But yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully people can recognize how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, that was Silver Redacted. If you like that, don't forget to like the channel and subscribe to the video. And check us out next week. And if you want to support us, you can get my silly little merch at icecreamonahotdog.com. And you can get some Echoplex specific merch at eplex.store. And check out our other shows at echoplexmedia.com. And yeah, we'll see you next week.